One of the concepts that bugs me the most in the modern spiritual community is karma. And it's because people treat karma like karma is sin and punishment when that is not at all related to what karma is. Karma means action. And karma, in a spiritual sense, is the patterns that we embody based on actions that we have taken and things that we have experienced. So actions taken toward us. A lot of people will see someone suffering and say they are getting their karma, when the majority of the time it is not that clear cut. And if someone is getting their karma, that doesn't necessarily mean that it is because of something they did or because of something they deserve. An example of this would be childhood trauma. Childhood trauma is a form of karma. It is something that you have had done to you, and you embody that pattern into adulthood. So, like for myself, I went through quite a number of things, particularly at the hands of my father, that it's not my responsibility that those things happen to me. It is my responsibility to own those patterns as an adult, to become aware of them, to work through them. But that karma, even when we're accounting for past lives, like as far as I'm aware, there's nothing in a past life that warranted what I went through as a child. And there's nothing in a past life that I would have brought in with me that would have equaled those experiences in the absence of the trauma. So I'm certain there are people who reincarnate and who did some terrible things in past lives, and they're paying the cost for that now. But even then, just because somebody did something terrible, it doesn't guarantee that something terrible is going to happen to them anywhere in the foreseeable future in any sense that you can immediately link to the things that they've done. The simplest way that I can think of explaining karma is that by its nature, it is always instantaneous. Because ultimately, everything you do or that you don't do transforms you in a way. It strengthens or weakens a pattern within you. And you cannot escape yourself. Every solitary second of this lifetime, you are going to spend it with yourself. Because karma impacts you, it changes you. You cannot escape yourself, hence you cannot escape your karma. And what happens in the external world is a lot more complicated than just an equation of this person deserves that and this person deserves this. In particular, it's common in this day and age to talk about do no harm. It's a great principle on paper, but how do you actually apply it? What does it mean in practice? Is it always the right thing to be kind? If someone is talking, like if there's a grumpy man at work, I have firsthand experience with this. If there's a grumpy man at work constantly griping about how ungrateful his wife is, and how she doesn't have his dinner cooked every single day, and this and that, and she doesn't get these chores done, am I doing a kindness by simply agreeing with him? I think no. It would be the kind thing to do in the moment to just passively accept what he's saying. But I think that all of us have some intrinsic understanding that maybe someone like that needs a punch to the mouth. Like, whether or not you actually give them the punch to the mouth, like, I understand it was a workplace, so obviously I couldn't do that to him. But I could give him a tongue lashing and nobody was going to say anything, especially on third shift. So there are other situations where you've got suicidal empathy. I probably shouldn't have said the S word considering YouTube, but I'm not going to use baby language, and my brain didn't think fast enough to use a euphemism. But think about these charities. Is it always good to give to charity? It's incredibly common to give money to third world charities. And these charities have been around for a very long time. The third world isn't getting better. And a lot of times that money goes to warlords. So you might be giving with good intentions, but what's your karma there? Especially if you're giving money to that. where these are often corrupt organizations and the things that you mean to go to vulnerable and starving people never reach them. Meanwhile, you have people in your own country, sometimes right down the street, a children's hospital that's in your neighborhood that could use the money instead, but it didn't get it because the money went overseas and who knows what happened to it there. It's not simple to determine what is the right course of action, at least when we're trying to think through it in terms of all these institutions and thought structures and philosophies. I think you can simplify it a great deal by saying, in terms of my personal karma, what I owe is mostly to my kin and my tribe. And that would mean my neighborhood, that would mean my family, that would mean an intimate partner. It does not include people who are in other countries where it might be tragic what's happening to them, but I don't have a personal stake in it. And I also don't have a great grasp of it. I can't, because my entire perspective of it is going to be shaped by the propaganda that I am fed by different sides who all have their own agendas. Which is not to say that charity abroad can never be a noble thing. It's just not a blanket, obvious, noble thing 100% of the time. And in terms of your karma, even if you had good intentions, if you weren't grounded, if you didn't have your priorities figured out, if you ended up contributing to some warlord getting weapons or food that they shouldn't have acquired, well, how does that play into your individual karma? It's worth thinking about that. Not because you deserve to be vilified, because again, karma's not about sin and punishment, but just how are you spending your energies? How is this contributing to the overall pattern that makes you who you are? And do you like that? Are you freer because of it? Or are you weighed down by things that are not a true extension of who you are and what you want to do in life and how you want to see the world change while you're here? I think that there's a lot of things about karma that echo things I have said in other videos and articles. And that is namely, think about what makes you respect yourself. And think about what makes you feel grounded and connected in a genuinely loving, not performatively loving way toward other people, even toward humanity at large. I think that that's a better guide for where you're at, karmically speaking, than whether you are following a list of virtues, which, to be frank, all of these lists of virtues that people try to hold themselves to, it's just another version of the Abrahamic paradigm. You don't need them. What's right and wrong is fairly straightforward when you're grounded, you're embodied, and you're dealing with the world as it is, as opposed to how you would like it to be. So I hope you found this thought-provoking. If it was valuable to you, leave a like down below. Subscribe if you haven't yet. If you're looking for my writings and my services, you can find that in links below alongside any of my socials. It was good talking to all you guys, and I'm looking forward to the next video.